Thank you, Mr. Chairman of the session, distinguished guests from the government, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, hello to everybody. This is the second National Rural Development Summit. I am participating and it is the second. As Murali said, I have a story to tell. I had been touring and understanding the rural India, probably some of the most deprived and backward regions, like Bastar, Dungarpur, Yavatmal, probably the 33 hotspots. And after having a view of the rural India and had been in the business of spatial technology, GIS technology for urban planning, asset mapping of the utility sector, and doing some business with the Ministry of Defense, I understand with a little bit inputs and knowledge to the economy of the country and the global happenings. I feel we have a wonderful shock absorber in this country. That's the reason we are all sitting here smiling, discussing regarding rural development. This is the rural development which is a shock absorber. 70%, if our statistics say, if they are right, 67 to 70% of the population, they live in the rural India, which has absorbed the shock of the global financial crisis. That means there is something strength in that rural economy. When you look back into the psyche of the rural Indian, I had never been I say for the past 3 generations I am an urban. So I can't claim myself to be a rural Indian. But when you look into the psyche of a rural Indian, let me honestly tell you that he is not a person of deceit. They are all people of self-esteem. They had been accommodating so many people. And under what plight? The plight is they do not have the knowledge of what their soil is suitable for. 60 years of independence and we have so many agencies working on. We have done so many surveys, but we did not impart the knowledge about the soil sciences to the farmers. And also our agricultural research institutions, we have premium institutions in this country developing so many models and packages and products and producers. But we had never been capable of taking this research to the agriculturists. Package of practices is not being detailed to the farmers. In spite of package of practices not being detailed to them, in spite of the soil sciences knowledge is not being imparted to them, in spite of the Basel norms which was enforced into this country and made probably the rural financing almost into the hands of the money lenders, and the thriving microfinance institutions will reveal how the banks have forgotten their responsibilities and the villagers are lent into the hands of the money lenders and the MFIs. MFIs, they charge exorbitant interest and people are paying it. Had people not been paying the exorbitant rate of interest, MFIs would not be in a position daring to go to the IPOs today. If they are able to go, that means the payment by the villager is there. And you know for what purpose villager takes loan from the MFIs or the money lenders. Money lenders may pay for the crop, but the MFIs, they lend money for marriages. Non-productive activities. In spite of borrowing money for non-productive activities, if he is able to pay the loans, that means he has got the productivity, he has got the ability. Under these circumstances, if somebody is performing, I feel we are in an era, 21st century, where leverage of level playing field to each and everybody is essential and demanding. At this pace, I say, let us look into the GDPs. Today, my colleague has been saying about the 17–19% of the share of agriculture into the GDP. If you look into 1950s and today, India and China had the same situation. The share to GDP by agriculture in 1950s was 54–56 in China and India. And now it is 18–19, both the countries. But why China doesn't report about some of the starvation deaths. Why China doesn't report some of the kidney rackets operating? And blah, blah, blah. There are so many incidents. One may be an iron curtain which does not allow revelations from the China. But investigations are possible in a globalized world. But today, if you investigate details, you will find that the non-farm sector growth in China was imminent, whereas it was not in India. Non-farm sectoral growth is very much required and essential for a country's growth along with the agricultural growth. If agriculture has not registered much into the economy, it may be because lack of banking and other accountabilities also. Today it is a time that a farmer, I'm sorry I didn't bring any presentation. I have some views which I would like to express and experiences. Today the farmer requires knowledge. Knowledge about his soil and what he should grow, package of practices. He needs a banking support which will not charge him exorbitant rate of interest and deprive him from the land which he owns. A money lender often deprives him. He may throw him out of the land, and that is the reason, to protect the land for the sake of the families, the farmers commit suicide. It is the last stage for a farmer to protect his land, which he feels the only source of income to feed his family. The most lovable thing for anybody in this world would be his life. If somebody is sacrificing it, we can understand the plight of it. Under this situation, banking has to be there. Knowledge about the package of practices and soil has to be given to them, and market linkages. Unless and until market linkages are established, it is not possible. And when we launched this a product called Gramin Vikas Rath in Dungarpur, a most backward district of this country, and after a few days, maybe 90 to 100 days of operation, I have gone there to audit what's the performance of it. I had delight of my life, I can say. When farmers of one village told me that first time they are seeing currency in their hand by changing the product to grow. They were growing maize, and my people, it seems, they have briefed them, they have established a market linkage, somebody to buy the onions, and told that the soil is suitable for onion growth. This is an effort of not my company alone. It's a combined effort of so many corporates. PI Industries was kind enough to give us package of practices, which was detailed to the farmers. And some seeds and fertilizers were also supplied. Jain Irrigation came forward for buying the onion. And the farmer tells me, all these years we were growing maize and it was for captive consumption and it was being used as barter system for the rest of the goods. But first time we grew onion and we earned money, we have seen currency. And then I asked the farmer, in what way? That time we were not at all linking market to the farmers. We were only giving them market information that to display it in the site of the MCX. MCX is a partner to this program. Now they have linked their traders, their buyers to us. I asked the farmer, what is the point of getting the knowledge of pricing? We don't buy it. We don't link you to any trader. You know, a farmer told me, it has enhanced my bargaining capacity. If a farmer can say that it has enhanced my bargaining capacity, that means what is that lacking? Are we advanced or are they advanced? They are equally modern. They are equally adaptable. Probably we had been looking down upon our fellow citizens as if they are from the primitive age and we are the most civilized. It is not the case. Illiteracy doesn't bar one from learning. I have seen myself talking to villagers who said, when we had a discussion with Mahindra and Mahindra team, and they were with me, the senior management of Mahindra and myself, we traveled to the villages in Rajasthan. And then we asked them, suppose we give you Samriddhi centers, a continuous support of this soil mapping. They were ready to accept it. When we told them that we will give you tractor if you can mobilize yourself together and run it, they said we will identify one or two entrepreneurs. We want bank to give them fund and we will engage the tractor and see that the loan is repaid. So modernization is not stopped. It is not entering the houses. I think 1 or 2 minutes. And so modernization is not stopped there. It is being welcomed. Under these circumstances, and such a good note where people are ready to cooperate with you in spite things did not travel. If things have not traveled down the lane, I can attribute this to the misgovernance of this country, probably the continuation of the British Raj, the bureaucracy, politician, and everybody, all of us may be part of the nexus, we all must be partners to it, trying to get more out of the things to be spent to the rural people, which did not happen. But if proper governance is there, I think that's a very big answer to all. The delivery mechanism has to be established, which can be done by having mobile information kiosk is one of the such initiatives which can take so many initiatives together by imparting knowledge, imparting market information, by hand-holding and establishing agro-process industries on a mini and small scale. On a mini and small scale is essential so that the rural people are employed and rural enterprises are established. And you know, there are so many villages without electricity. Rather than laying a grid, you can have a solar PV charging station as an enterprise. A farmer will be ready to pay 2 rupees or 3 rupees a day to carry a lantern which is charged, because he must be spending 5 to 6 rupees over kerosene. So there are so many things which all of us can sit together and chart out that what all the things from urban area we can sell into the rural areas. My dear participants, I once again would like to re-emphasize that if the grassroots are strengthened, if the rural economy is strengthened, if the rural Indian is empowered with money in his pockets, we have a better markets and we have better productivity, we have better profits. So it is not for the charity of the industry, it is probably our prerequisite. We need a good market available in the country, which is a huge market, twice the population of the United States. Our market is there. It's only initiatives from the government which are needed, and initiatives from the corporate which are needed, and people do not demand charity. It is our efforts to inculcate habit and empower them so that their purchasing power increases. Let us empower the citizens and look at them as always we see a consumer with a hale and hearty life, so that we can smile with our profits. Thank you everybody.
Wow, Mr. Prasad, that was passionate.